Supreme Rice. Since the 1930s, supporting Louisiana farmers and communities throughout Louisiana. To find out more, go to supremerice.com.
Live at lunch.
You are looking live.
Live at lunch. Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
What the hell's going on out here?
Now, here's Jimmy Ott and Charles Hannegriff.
Yeah, for some reason or another, you sound a little taller on radio.
Is it live? Is it live? Is it live?
From the original walk-ons, Burbank at Nicholson. Welcome to the Thursday edition of Live at Lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Charles Hannegriff, Jimmy Ott, Max Gotro with us today, and Jordan Kinch is back in the studio. Colucci from Vegas, Matt Humans from Vegas. A great Thursday night game tonight.
Yeah, great.
Rams and the Seahawks.
Yep.
Two bona fide Super Bowl contenders.
I think whoever wins tonight, we wake up tomorrow, will be the favorite to win a Super Bowl.
And the favorite to be the number one seed, maybe. If you think that matters.
Rams still have an advantage, don't they?
They're tied. If they want to.
Oh, they're tied. That's right.
Tied.
That's right. No. Whoever wins this, 'cause Rams are a favorite right now to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah. Yeah. The Rams have obviously they got the half of the head-to-head tiebreaker, so they're a game up in the division race. They're 3-1. The Seahawks are 2-2, but all that tightens up.
Seahawks got to go to San Francisco. Where they lost at home to San Francisco early in the season, but let me pull it up, see exactly where Seattle is right now. Darnold, that might be one thing. He kind of keeping him. He's. Well, no, they're the top two odds right now. So the Seattle wins, they're going to be the favorite. Rams plus 320, Seattle plus 650. How about that?
The Seahawks so dominated the yardstick in the first game between these two teams. Darnold throws 4 interceptions, ends up being the difference in the game. That the Seahawks lost by 2 in Los Angeles, and your quarterback throws 4 interceptions. And they just dominated that yardstick. I understand why Randy McKay likes the Seahawks tonight.
A little bit misleading because the Rams had such a big lead the whole time. They were more on the conservative side. So they were playing, kind of protect mode as opposed to attack mode. But the statistics don't lie. I mean, Darnold was his worst game of the year.
Yeah.
And it gets you, all right, is he a guy that can get you to this point, but in the big games, is he going to do it? Because was that the biggest game of the year this year for them? I mean, they're the top two.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, sure.
Well, the two biggest games last year, they're playing for the number 1 seed at Detroit, and in the playoff game where they played Los Angeles and Phoenix. I mean, those was 3 worst games and the 3 biggest. So, he's –
Are you folding under pressure?
Is he a top 10 quarterback in the NFL this year? I'd say so. I mean, his receiver is going to be offensive player of the year.
First team All-Pro, yeah.
Well, might be offensive player of the year.
Could be.
Well, he's the leader right now. He's a favorite. So he's part of that equation.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Big
he's
part.
getting him the ball.
And they're not running the ball really well.
No. And I love the kid coming out of Michigan State, but he just hasn't been there, man.
No, and they have Charbonnet is one of the better backup running backs.
Charbonnet too. No, I forget about him.
But that's good backs. Neither one.
That's a nice tandem, man. Yeah. It's just their run blocking is not the same. So no, that. Your point is that you're trying to give Darnold even more credit because that running doesn't have that running game to help him out.
One of the bigger home field advantages in the NFL tonight. The weather's supposed to be.
Has it been though? It hasn't been the last couple of years.
And it should be.
Because
they're as loud as anybody. They're as loud as dome stadiums up there in Seattle. Lord knows the Saints have seen that.
The pre-snap penalties. I mean, it's every year, but I mean, look at their record. The last. They're
5-2 at home this year.
5-2 at home this year. What are they on the road? It's the same.
That would make them 6-1. They're better. They've got a better road record.
This is 2 years in a row.
Yeah.
They've had a better road record than home record. With that, and despite not my stadium's better. My stadium. No, the pre-snap penalties are at the top of the league every year. So yeah, it's real.
Despite the fact that it's December in Washington State, good weather expected tonight. 51 degrees and cloudy, no rain. not a ton of wind and no snow or anything like that. So we're going to play this in optimum conditions for December football.
Keep in mind that first game, in Seattle they attempted a field goal at the end of regulation. It was a 61-yard attempt. It was woefully short. But the punt right before that, inside the 1-yard line. Inside the 1-yard line for Seattle. So, I mean, that kept them from getting a little bit closer to stealing it, because this would have been a horrendous loss for the Rams, because Darnold just gave 4 interceptions, no TDs, but 26 first downs to 12. 26 first downs to 12. So because they were, let me see, what were they leading at one point, Charlie? It was what was their biggest lead? Their biggest lead was at 14-3 and 21-12. 14-3, 21-12. Keep in mind, one of those interceptions, they turned the ball over on downs inside the 10-yard line and didn't capitalize.
Okay. Looking forward to that one.
Who do you like?
I like the Seahawks. I think you can make a case that if Darnold had just played a reasonable game, that they would have they would have won in Los Angeles. I think their defense is a little bit better, and Devontae Adams being out is also
that hurts.
If he is out,
he's out. He's out. He's going to be out.
I mean, you're talking about the NFL's leader in touchdowns, touchdown catches. So he and
Stafford have kind of revived his career. I mean, he bounced around. It was kind of lukewarm at a couple of stops, including Tennessee. Tennessee, by the way, Cam Ward has had such a good year. He wants to interview the coaches, the coaching candidates. That's a strong sign of leadership. So, anyway, why don't you take care of your own room before you get into other people's jobs? Anyway, but here then, sometimes we just make it a tennis match, right? Mm-hmm. You're certainly going to pick Stafford over Darnold.
Yes,
you're certainly going to do that. I mean, Stafford is playing better than I think he ever has. I mean, he's never been first-team All-Pro. He's never been second-team All-Pro. Never gotten votes for an MVP. Is that right?
Never gotten a vote. Never gotten a first-place vote.
Never gotten a first-place vote.
Yeah.
And he's going to win it this year.
If the vote was right now, he would be, yeah.
So he loses tonight. Who jumps ahead of him? Josh Allen, if they come in with that comeback?
I think there's going to be a little bit of.
He's not going to win their division.
They're not going to win.
They lose a tiebreaker,
and he won it last year. So
that's true.
There's a little bit of pushback there. No, I would say he's still the,
because all the heavyweights are out. It's not going to be Burrow, not going to be Mahomes. Allen's had a low start. They're not going to win their division for the first time. You know how that team accomplishment affects individual.
The
awards.
next guy is Drake May.
Oh, that's not happening. Yeah, he was. He's not getting it ahead of. No way. Had they, they were on their way. It was 21-0 right out the chute. If they win by 14, he'd be right there. But not after not putting up a point. Just giving up that big lead. No, that I think the May run is over, because they don't have any sort of benchmark games too.
It has been the easiest. It has been the easiest.
And
schedule.
What's ahead of them is to play Miami with with Ewers at home.
Mm-hmm.
Jets.
The easiest schedule, not in NFL history, but one of the easiest ones. It's why you talk about you get to play that last place schedule. If you're coming on as a team, but you still finish last. Okay, mm-hmm. Who's the biggest when we talk about biggest turnaround teams? We're looking at win totals in the summer. It's like, who gets to play that last place schedule? You can't predict them all. Okay, there's a lot of fluctuation, and teams get better every year, but that one time last place schedule for a team that finishes on a roll, like for instance, if the Saints end up winning 5 in a row to end the season, okay, mm-hmm. But still get to play a last place schedule next year if that happens.
It's 3 games.
Yeah,
it's 3 games now, so it does help. But it's also, it helps which division which division that you're matched up with, and that's why it's no surprise that the NFC West, because before the season started. Now listen, tricky trying to project schedules. But San Francisco projected schedule was the weakest in the league. And so it's who the NFC West was matched up with. And that's why you got, such three really strong records. I mean, you look at a lot of these teams that the Rams, Seattle, and San Francisco have beaten. And they've just taken care of business against the weaker competition.
We're here at Walk-Ons, the original
Walk-Ons. We got to remind you that our Christmas schedule, our holiday schedule, that we are open for Christmas Eve for lunch only till 2 p.m. For lunch only on to 2 p.m. next Wednesday. Close the entire day on Thursday. Close for Christmas Day the entire day. So that's our holiday schedule. And also keep in mind gift cards and holiday gift cards. And it's even for out-of-town guests, especially, you got a college kid on your Christmas list. So I want to throw in a stocking stuffer and go out of town. Man, it's if they're away at college, probably have a walk-ons near their campus, and so many of them have. So, and they're redeemable at the Clemson walk-ons, the Tuscaloosa walk-ons, the Lubbock walk-ons, you name it. So they're good at any of those. So that's a good idea. And it's not too early. It's just around the corner to reserve your spot, whether it's on-site or off-site. Crawfish boils. Yes, indeed. So springtime was just around the corner. Crawfish season, already starting to boil them up at a few places around town. And so, hey, you got to never too early to book your crawfish boil, both here at Walk-Ons or at your location.
Live at the original Walk-Ons, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
With Ott and Hanny from the original Walk-Ons on Burbank on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
Remember, you can always get the show on demand, 1045ESPN.com, LouisianaSports.net. And the Handycast, latest two podcasts are up. It's up in two parts on the Lane Kiffin offense, a deep dive into some of the schematics of the Lane Kiffin offense. That's up right now on YouTube. Brought to you by Supreme Rice and SupremeRice.com, supporting our Louisiana farmers since the 1930s. So it's a pretty normal day, right, in college football today. The LSU football coaches woke up in Oxford today and went to work in the Ole Miss building. The Ole Miss coaches woke up today in Baton Rouge, went to work in the LSU building. So, nothing unusual there. I'm just,
It's different.
Yeah, it's very different.
Different. I'm watching the games last night, and after lunch cost me my lunch last night, with ULL, watching the Lane Kiffin thing again, and boy, Ryan McGee ain't happy about Kiffin making him look silly. Because the whole tone of that was that everything's just hunky-dory, the families reunited. Where else would they even think about going than Oxford, Mississippi, and then boom. They had an add-on piece to the Many Faces of Lane Kiffin.
An update.
And let me just say it's a pretty strong conclusion that Ryan McGee is not happy about how he portrayed Kiffin in this piece.
If you take any coach's word for anything other than the immediate present,
yes. You're a veteran, dude. How do you go hook, line, and sinker on that?
You're running the risk. I'll give Heather Dinich credit this weekend. Kalen DeBoer released that statement. So I'm not interested in it, which is okay, fine. That's all he can do. We don't believe you. Because things change. Do I believe him that was his intention day?
Does that statement at all give you confidence that he's taken a Michigan job? That doesn't? It doesn't give me. So when Cignetti agreed in principle.
Signing a contract.
He didn't sign it.
Cignetti?
He agreed to it at that time, yes.
I know how those things work. If you agree, and if you have a verbal agreement, it's binding in a lot of cases.
Completely different situations in the fact that that Indiana, we just talked about it yesterday. They got the largest living alumni base in the country.
Yeah.
I mean, they're more excited than ever. They always supported the basketball team, but this is a different level. And he's already competing. He took that momentum, then had a bigger budget, a bigger player budget, and put together a better team.
I believe when coaches agree to a contract, verbal or written, something that's binding, something that makes it harder for them to get out of it, then I believe they're
So the
staying.
statement means nothing. It doesn't matter.
I'm not saying it doesn't mean
I would
anything.
say a little bit more confidence that he's
Yes.
not jumping, but
It makes a difference that day and in the immediate future, but things change. That's why every time we go into one of these things, I repeat this, every time we go into a coaching search, something is true on Monday, may not be true on Friday. Offers change, circumstances change, somebody leaves your staff, sometimes the athletic director gets fired by the governor. Circumstances change. And their decisions change along with it. Now, the reason I believe Signetti, even if he hadn't put pen to paper, is if his intention was to go somewhere else, then agreeing to a contract there only complicates his departure.
well,
He wouldn't do that.
There's 136 Division I programs. His situation is the least pressure. DeBoer's is the most pressure. Yeah. It's not close.
Right.
And the second least pressure is not close. A job up behind Indiana. I mean, what he's accomplished there, and DeBoer following Saban. There's no other. There's no other job that has more pressure.
And here's how circumstances can change. Let me give you a prime example in relation to DeBoer, who I believe was telling the truth that day. Okay, but what if tomorrow night they get beat bad? What if they
get beat? Period. It doesn't have to be bad.
Okay,
does not have to be bad.
What if they get? And when I say bad, let's say
They may cut bait.
Let me give you a scenario. Without them firing him, if they go to him and say, let's say Oklahoma beats them 21-3 tomorrow night, okay, and the offense gets 120 yards of total offense, 150 yards, and the AD comes to him and says, you got to make staff changes. That offense was pathetic. Or the other way, they give up 40 points.
They might say, I'll take the Michigan job.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to change my staff.
I think Alabama, and I know how they act, and it could be DeBoer and it could be anybody else in this situation. They're dealing on a short leash. I mean, they're going to act impulsively. But he has a top 5 class, and those guys are all free. All can leave that letter of intent if he moves. I would be a little bit careful. I don't think that's the best interest of your program moving forward. Now, if you make a change next year, I mean, in the middle of the year or whatever, but there's still a chunk of those guys are going to leave. But he did get a top 5 class.
Yeah.
And so I wouldn't. That doesn't help you. That you're going to have a rough year next year if you force him. You help push him out the door.
I think the strong odds are that DeBoer is back at Alabama next
year,
too. Regardless if they win or lose tomorrow night. Okay. But would I say 100%?
No. There's no such thing as 100%. But I'd say 75.
I would probably push it a little bit higher than that. I would say 90%. But an embarrassing loss, a loss that, I don't know. Maybe they blow a decision late in the game. Maybe they got 12 guys on the field when they get a defensive stop, and the place just goes absolutely berserk.
Did Kiffin put out a statement like that at Ole Miss?
No. Not a written statement. No. I don't believe it. He was just.
And we've seen guys, put out these statements and it was roll. But I don't think it hurts their chances of keeping or his chances of staying by putting it out.
No, it does.
It can only help, but minimally. Be careful. Don't McGee it.
Right. I wanted to ask you about another contract, and this is local because it caught my attention. The details of Marshall Faulk's deal at Southern came out yesterday. Most of this is fairly straightforward stuff, salary structure, bonus structure, if you win the division, if you win the league, if you're coach of the year, that kind of stuff. He's also got some incentives in there that are tied to ticket sales, which is a little unusual but not unheard of. Here's what caught my attention. He is going to get a 20% bonus of any fundraising efforts that he takes part in. In other words, if he goes out and finds somebody that'll cut a $100,000 check, $20,000 of it goes to him. And in his opening press conference, before we knew any of this, he was very frank. He said to Southern donors, it was a full room.
Yeah. Didn't mix his words.
If you, speaking to them as a body, if you want to take this program where you want it to go, you're going to have to open your wallets a little bit, which is true, okay? both you and I have worked on that campus before, and fundraising is always at every campus, but that campus in particular could be facilities, could be players, could be whatever. And he said, look, I understand you want to get back to where, Southern is used to being. You got to give me some money. Turns out he's getting a cut of that. So that's fine. I understand. I probably would have done the same thing if I'm Southern's administration. My question to you is, would you ever see this being something that happens at the Power 5 level?
All in different situations. First of all, commissions will motivate people.
We know a little bit. We know a little something about that.
Yeah, commissions will motivate people.
Yeah.
All right. Head coaches in college football at all level, are they more fundraisers than ever?
Have to be.
Yeah. Okay. I mean,
the good ones are. Yeah.
So
you're
putting performance incentives in here on his fundraising. I mean, which is a big part of what they're, what you don't. Absolutely. I would put it on somebody like a Matt McMahon. A Summerall going from Tulane to Florida. You might be able to do that. Your boy Golish going from South Florida to Auburn. You can do that. You can't do it to Lane Kiffin. You can't give it to a guy that's got options. That's not happening. Just not. I mean, you want some of the more sought-after coaches you're not getting to. Like Brian Kelly would have never agreed to anything like that. Even if the rules were like that when he jumped. Okay? He'd have never, because he's got options.
And I don't know any coach that likes fundraising. I don't know anybody that likes fundraising, period, in sports. It's a necessary evil, but I don't know anybody like, oh, boy, I get to go ask people for money.
Charlie, even before, you had the guy from the coach from Illinois State. He coached under Joe Tiller at Purdue, okay? And he's talking about it, and Joe Tiller said, because he was about to get his first head coaching. This guy's from the Wisconsin, the Illinois, Wisconsin area, that area. All football. He says, when you become a head coach, you're going to do less coaching than ever.
Yeah.
Pretty much you're not coaching anymore. You got to do. So that's before. My point is, the head coach has to do so many other things besides just coaching. That's why you see like a guy like Chip Kelly. I just want to coach more. Get me out of this fundraising. Now it's even more so that you're fundraising and schmoozing and trying to generate contributions with your alumni base or your booster base. And so, yes, this is makes a lot of sense for everybody. And give him some commission to motivate him. Put a happier smile. Who wants to go sell out there with no commission? And that's what he's doing. And so, but the big dogs. No. You want me to move from Oxford to LSU, although LSU is a better job. But you got to guarantee me this budget. You got to guarantee me this staff budget, this player budget. The heavyweights, you can't do it with. I mean, Kurt Signetti is, say, Penn State. He got the itch. Penn State's offering him twice as much of his player budget right now. He's not. No, but Coach, we're going to give you a commission. You got to, and that's not happening with those guys.
Marshall Faulk, by the way, made right at $50 million playing football. He's been retired for a long time now. And, if he goes out and raises $100,000, I don't think $20,000 is going to change his quality of life any. I'm just curious if those numbers got really big. If you knew a CEO that was going to give you, 8 figures or 9 figures let's say you were friends with T. Boone Pickens back in the, when he was still alive, would this ever become a thing? Just caught my attention.
I think, yeah. And what coach who's got to do it anyway doesn't want some commission out of it?
Yeah. Kick me some more money. Nobody turns down more money.
No, don't forget our friends at Relief Windows. If your homeowners association requires wood windows, you got to check out the gelled wood windows from Relief Windows. These wooden windows combine the beauty of real wood with high-tech energy efficiency features for all climate zones, especially here in South Louisiana with the heat, the mold, the rain, the snow. Built using Auralast wood, the gel windows. Their frame windows come with a 20-year general warranty and a lifetime limited warranty against rotten termites, providing you years of beauty and minimal maintenance. I got them at my house. They look good, they're functional, and they last. If you get to standard wood windows, they're not going to last. Trust me, the ones at my house with the original construction of my home did not last. These are not showing any signs of wear and tear. Call Relief Windows at 288-8138 or check out all of our inventory for windows, doors, siding, and shutters at reliefwindows.com.
By the way, it looks like Todd Light and Curtis Johnson are headed to Southern. Good staff moves for Marshall Falk. Live at the original Walk-Ons Live at Lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
It's time. It's now Colucci time. Dwayne Colucci is back to give his best picks on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Oh, boy, fire on ice last Thursday. How about my boy Colucci? Boom, 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 boom. Montreal plus 110. Islanders minus 115. Minnesota plus 120. And all win by the puck line. Charlie, if you want to really get greedy. Colucci, like Colucci at the holiday dinner table. Greedy. Meatballs, cheese.
I just took the normal
pork
amount.
loin.
I just took the normal amount. I wasn't that greedy.
Man, guess what, Colucci? I do the picks on Matt's show, on Moscona's show in the afternoon. I went 2-0 that night. Guys showing us the five-team parlay between our picks last week. Bet $20 paid about $6.20. Huh? Well done, man.
What a shame, right? Unbelievable. Yes, and that's why you got to listen to this show, because we're just giving out
Well, they
pleasure
did.
of winning, without a doubt. And I love seeing those tickets posted. I love the support, especially on the X. I mean, it's amazing. The Baton Rouge crowd is just become like expert handicappers. It's unbelievable.
I mean, who thought Robin Hood was really set in Nottingham Forest? It was in the Bronx, dude. I mean, Colucci's robbing from the rich and feeding the poor, baby.
It's in Vegas. Yes. Robbing from myself to feed the poor. That's the best.
When we say he's robbing from the books to feed the horse players, huh? Yeah, maybe something like that. Anyway,
I'll tell you, that's a different story, Jimmy. Forget about that.
Man, we had a profitable day at the fairgrounds for Champions Day on Saturday, so we're not bad. Kind of chalky, but still a decent day. All right, before we get too caught up and rush for time and everything else, another full slate on the ice tonight. Who we looking at?
Yeah, definitely. This is a tough slate, I'll be honest with you, too. I was starting to look at the games and dissect, and, you got some great matchups. Let's start with the top matchup. Montreal, they need to win some games now, guys. Here's the whole factor. You brought up Jacob Fowler. You're having trouble at the goaltender position. Chicago tonight, they're playing without their number one superstar, Connor Bedard. Everybody saw that injury with 8 seconds to go in the game. I think it might have even been 0.8. And, it seemed like he had a shoulder injury, and this is one of the top players in the NHL. So, I hate to give out the chalk, but Montreal, they need to right this ship. They got 38 points, currently 17-12, a very solid record, but they're minus 11 in goal differential, guys. So, now is the time to get right before, you get on the cusp of these Olympics. It's going to be difficult to sustain and maintain and duplicate what they did last year after the four. They had a series of the Four Nations. They really played the best hockey after the Four Nations series last year. Now it's the Olympics this year. Time to, right the ship, get that 18th win. I like Montreal tonight. We're looking at 175 at the Rampart and South Point. I'm seeing some massive numbers out there as well. I'm seeing 190s, 180s, 180s. In town right now, currently at 175 on Montreal. I like the Canadians.
Yeah, I would say with such a high-profile player like Bedard being out for the Blackhawks as well, this thing might go. I actually put it in a parlay. A couple of the first two legs hit last night. I had a boost, and I got it at like minus 165. So you're going to get down and follow Dwayne Montreal. Get on him now. Our local shop here at Bally's, where we'll be doing Football Sunday this Sunday, and at the Queen, the DraftKings outlets has it currently at 185. So yeah, it's moving up. All right, next game. Who we looking at?
Okay, we're looking at the Minnesota Wild now. They're starting to back up goaltender tonight, but still, Minnesota has just been off the hook, guys. 20-9. The acquisition of Hughes could only better this team from Vancouver, who is basically already selling, off their assets. And you're only laying 115. Now, I know Columbus is much better at home than they are on the road. Let's keep that in mind. I mean, 7-5-3 at home whereas 7, 8, and 3 on the road. 14 and 13, they're kind of like leveled out now. They have 515 win percentage. Another team with a minus 15 goal differential, and the Minnesota Wild have a plus 17 goal differential. Now, the Wild are much better at home. Keep that in mind, but an 8-6-1 road record is not that bad. And you look at the last 10, they are 7-2-1, and they won a shootout in the last game. Wild price is perfect tonight, guys. Minus 115 at the Rampart and South Point. I'm seeing 120s pop up, so get down on this one, too. It's another one that's just going to steam in that direction just because of the momentum that the Minnesota Wild have right now. Looking at the Wild, they look very good in this situation.
All right, Minnesota minus 120 at our local shops here. And is that it, or you got one more?
Yeah, let me tell you, on a line read, guys, I don't love this game, but I'm reading the line, and, the Buffalo save is 135, and the Flyers are coming off a massive victory against Montreal. Michkov lit the lamp. This line is kind of, puzzling to me. So when I get a little confused because I think the Flyers are on the right side. I'm looking at Buffalo here. I mean, Alex Lyon's going to be between the pipes. The game could come down. I'm seeing 135 at the Rampart and South Point, even Westgate 134. So the price is right here for Buffalo at home. It's always a tough place to play, tough to travel in that winter weather, and get and commute to the arena itself. So I think the Flyers are definitely playing well, 17-9-4. But let's take Buffalo at home. Again, we're giving out a favorite, 3 favorites tonight, but I think Buffalo will win this game.
All right. Tonight, good one. Rams in Seattle. Top 2 favorites, a lot of places to win the Super Bowl. In this divisional matchup, they're all tied up apiece. Rams were the beneficiary of 4 Sam Darnold interceptions in a game they held on to win by 2, which they were leading by more than that for most of the game. A little backdoor cover for Seattle. Seattle didn't win, but they did cover that spread. Where's the action for tonight's game?
I'll tell you, the action is pretty split. A little more on the Seahawks, actually, here at the Rampart and South Point. But the ticket count is hugely in favor of the Rams. So what you're dealing with there is the Sharps are getting down on the Seahawks, especially at that 1.5 current line. And you have all the general public, which is expected here in Las Vegas, to support the Rams with parlays and teasers. That's why the ticket count is so high. And you have these lower amounts on the Rams, but the larger amounts are on the Seahawks on the straight bet. So this is a tough game to handicap, guys. I mean, Sam Darnold could not get the ball in the end zone. Let's keep that in mind in the last game. So, that's definitely, when you go into the playoffs, you want your quarterback to, when you get inside the 20, the 30, you want to score at 7, and it just seems like it eludes the Seahawks. Now, Devontae Adams is downgraded to doubtful, so that is huge for the Rams because now you could actually double down on Puka Nacua. They've been playing fabulous all year. These are 2 teams playing at an exceptional level in the NFC. Probably top teams in the NFC. You saw that Green Bay came right back down to earth last week. They played a solid game, but, Bo Nix was unstoppable. They couldn't stop him without Micah Parsons now. They are behind the Bears as well. Eagles definitely are still right there, as long as they're happy and you see Jalen Hurts happy and the wide receivers happy. Saquon, they're feeding the ball. The Eagles could be there as well, but the Rams and Seahawks have definitely played at a top level this year, and you know how hard it is to win in Seattle. I really don't have a selection here, guys. This is a tough game.
All right, looking to Sunday this week, some of the games, give us your top play for the NFL this week.
Yeah, it's a tough card. I'll be honest with you again, guys. I definitely have a little faith, believe it or not. Don't shoot the messenger in Aaron Rodgers. You're getting 7 points here with Aaron Rodgers against a team that has a very, very suspect defense. It got that up from the 6.5 opener at the Rampart to South Point to the 7. So I'll definitely grab a touchdown with Aaron Rodgers. Okay. Our ticket count is largely in favor of the Lions here, 5-1 in favor of the Lions. Money is about almost a 2.5 to 1, 3 to 1 cost on the Lions. I love being on the opposite side of that. Pittsburgh needs to win games. This is very, very important to stay ahead of Baltimore and to win that division going into the playoffs. They looked pretty good last week. Miami was they definitely came to play. Maybe not Tua, but the rest of the team did. And the Steelers sent a message. I like Pittsburgh. I'll take the touchdown here, guys.
Charlie, what's up with Detroit?
I wish I could tell you something definite. I can't put my finger on any one thing. You got one of the most explosive players in football in Jahmyr Gibbs. You got a great 1-2 punch there. St. Brown is still one of the top receivers. He's numbers.
Been hurt.
He's been hurt, but he's still I think it's still top 5 average points per points added
what?
I'm not EPA. Excuse me. Yards. Let me slow down.
Colucci, Charlie's into the eggnog a little early today.
Yards per route. Yards per route run.
English, please.
He's still a top 5 guy in yards per route. I was going to get it right eventually.
Max, is that right?
Sounds right. I guess that's right.
It's right.
It came out funny in the beginning, but now it's all right. It's like the old statement.
Right.
It's all vanilla chocolate. It all comes out chocolate in the end, right?
Yeah. It's all in the same pot.
Now, Colucci, the next 2 Thursdays are Christmas and New Year's. We are off here, so we are off Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, and the day after. So an extended off time. We never off that much, but just New Year's Day the following week. But we're going to miss you. What are you going to be doing for the holidays, huh? What's any set plans? Working, huh?
Well, working. But Christmas Eve, we'll be having a fabulous dinner at my house. We'll have some of the fish and mix in the meatballs, despite it mainly being fish on Christmas Eve, just because of the fact that Christmas Day I will be riding the ship here at the Rampart, making sure it's straight and strong. 3 NFL games, 5 NBA games that go into the deep part of the night. So, yeah, definitely I'll be working those days. New Year's Eve I'll be off, maybe tip the elbow with a little Johnny Blue. And, it's amateur night, so I usually don't go out on New Year's Eve. There's a lot going on here in Las Vegas and a lot of DUI checkpoints. Be careful. Let's have a safe holiday. Let's enjoy our Christmas and enjoy our New Year's.
I've been in Vegas on New Year's Eve before, and yes, that is in my rearview mirror. I mean, you better buckle up if you get out with those characters. I mean, it's a little much. There's no doubt about that. You know what I wanted to ask you, Dwayne? I know it's early, and these are really some of the lighter bowl games, but with some of the opt-outs and uncertainties, we're hearing that some books are placing much smaller limits on these games. And are y'all doing limits at the South Point and Rampart? And is it lower than normal for these bowl games so far?
Yeah, sometimes the handle takes a hit, but Chris definitely over the counter will take anything, basically. I mean, not anything, but we have high limits as long as you just bet across the counter. Come in, come and see me. Come to the South Point, come and see Chris. We're going to take the same limits at the Rampart that they do at the South Point. As long as you're at the counter, we're seeing some good action on this Oklahoma-Alabama game. I'll be honest with you. We're sitting at Oklahoma -1. Ticket count is almost even, but the money is in favor of Bama. So, yeah, you expect that, massive Alabama tradition to shine here, but Oklahoma is a solid team. We're getting a lot of action on Oregon as well, guys. -21. A lot of people don't believe the playoff system, and that it's flawed. So James Madison, they're in, but definitely playing a high-quality team and offense in Oregon. We got Mississippi at 17.5. We're seeing massive handle on Ole Miss. Tulane definitely, they could compete just because of the current coaching situation, and you don't know how well these kids are going to be motivated. But 17.5, it's a lot of points, and the public is backing in a 3-1 ticket count, Ole Miss. So that's going to be another good game. Texas A&M 3 over Miami. That's a toss-up, guys. I'll be honest.
Down to 3. Okay.
Money is almost even. Yeah, money is even here at the Rampart and South Point. Ticket count is in favor of A&M, but still the money is even. So, that's covering a couple of them. We're getting great handles, so I'm not worried about that. And we will take high limits at the Rampart and South Point. Just bet across the counter. The limits are lower on the mobile app, obviously.
Well, what I was a little puzzled by the Texas A&M Miami. Now that I see it, I see what they're doing by placing that game, because that Alabama Oklahoma is your big one. You put that prime time on Friday night. Your second best matchup is A&M Miami, where there's no NFL game they're going against. So the NFL games are at 4 and 7:15. So the other games will be going head up. The NFL games might outdraw them.
That's why ESPN formed it out to TNT.
Yeah. Yep. All right, Dwayne, listen, I don't have to tell you, look, man, I lost my dad this past summer. I know you, and I have to remind you, you and your dad have a really cool relationship. Y'all always spend time together down in Del Mar. But tell your dad I said Merry Christmas, man, and y'all have a great holiday.
Definitely, Jimmy. Thank you so much, and you do the same. Thoughts and prayers to you and your family. I'll say a prayer for your dad on Christmas. Love you guys. Definitely love you, Jimmy. And Charlie, can't wait to see you soon. Have a fabulous, fabulous holiday and New Year, and we'll be back to ring in the New Year. Like you said, we'll skip 2 Thursdays, but we're going to have a good time, definitely.
That first sip of Johnny Walker Blue, I want you to tell your dad, ho, ho, Handy. There you go. There you go. Little ho, ho, Handy. Ho, ho. You the man, Kaluch. We appreciate it. Follow Dwayne on Twitter at NYBookieDwayne. Don't forget our friends at Legacy Title, Chad Reynolds. Legacy Title for all your real estate closings. 296-0060. Full-service title company servicing all of South Louisiana. Ashley Donald, Adrian Galata, Michael Platt, Mariana Haynes, Natalie and Bradford Smith. Buying, building, refinancing. Nobody choose but you. Just Chad Reynolds at Legacy Title, 296-0060.
Live at the original Walk-Ons, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny from the original Walk-Ons on Burbank on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Another starting quarterback in the SEC on the move, Bo Perbula from Missouri. Going to go into the transfer portal. We'll skip the bowl game. He has played 3 seasons, which by my count, Jimmy, means that he's got 4 left to play.
Yeah, I mean, TJ Finley, when he committed to LSU, this is how TJ's going for his 7th school in 7 years. Is that right?
Trying to, yeah.
Okay. Coach Hank Tierney was on the show talking about him as a coach at Ponchatoula.
Yeah.
Tierney retired, came back out of retirement, and has played in 2 state championship games. And TJ Finley's still playing college ball.
Yeah. I went through the whole timeline of it, and going into this year, it computed. He didn't get the COVID year counted against him. The redshirt year didn't count against him, and so he was slick. But now, and he graduated from Auburn.
Good.
In the middle of all that. In the but the 7th, he's got to go ask for.
Was the Finley game the Iron Bowl where the running back ran out of bounds to give them a little bit more time? Bryce Young?
2021, maybe? Yeah, that sounds right.
What was the running back's name?
Yeah.
Good back.
Yeah.
But just a horrendous decision.
Yeah.
They're out of timeouts.
24-22 in 2021. We lost in 4 overtimes with TJ Finley at
yes.
quarterback.
Yeah. Who was the running back, the leading running back for Auburn that day?
Tank Bigsby?
Yep, that's him.
Yeah.
Ran out of it. They're out of timeouts. Gave them. And what did they say? How much time they scored with overtime instead of 40 seconds? They scored with about 10 seconds ago. Bryce Young and regulation.
24 seconds.
24.
They scored
About 40 seconds would have made a
sitting in
difference.
Tiger Stadium waiting for LSU A&M to open, A&M to start. It was raining. It was nasty. It was Ogeron's last game at Tiger Stadium. That was going on while we were waiting in the pregame for LSU
Charlie,
and A&M.
Perbula, former coach needs a quarterback right now. Virginia Tech, I'd watch out for them.
There you go.
Yeah, there's a possibility.
I might leave them if they make the playoff. Though.
Straight ahead here, Walk-Ons 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny from the original Walk-Ons on Burbank on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
We return here at the original Walk-Ons. Got some graduates in the building.
Yes, indeed, man.
Graduation over at LSU, so we got some people here celebrating. They even let some of the graduates. Let them take pictures over on campus.
I know, Stu Pack's crew, man. Good looking family picture, huh?
Got into let them go into Tiger Stadium and take
all 5 with an LSU degree.
I believe so, and some of them with graduate degrees, I believe, as well.
Wow.
So, yeah, They're pretty good. They all take after.
Why-
I'll take after.
Better
their
watch
mother.
what I say around that educated crew, boy.
They take after mom. You know how that is. Got a chance to watch some college basketball.
Me too.
Last night. Besides the bowl game that we were
watched
watching.
that too.
Watched the Raging Cajuns. Boy, I tell you what, for all the mistakes that they made yesterday, to have a chance on the last play of the game to still be in it, missed an easy field goal early, 1st and goal at the 9, no points, fumble a punt, one bust defensively, and they still had a
Was
chance.
the interception inside the 5, was that on 1st or 4th down?
Fourth.
Oh, it was 4th down. Okay.
It was 4th and goal.
Because I missed the
inside-
measurement. Just
inside the 2. And they had gotten a personal foul that got them in the 1st and goal down at the 9.
At one point, the Cajuns had 35 snaps to 8, and we're losing.
Yeah, because the one bust, the 2 long drives, they got no points out of. Walker Howard got in the game.
He sure did.
Late. They hit that really nasty injury that abdominal muscle that had ripped off. They had to surgically repair it.
And they said they wanted to get him in. He got hit on one of his throws on 3rd down. So it was kind of hard to tell, kind of evaluate him. Just no explosive plays for ULL. A lot of things. Now, it did open up a little bit when they fell behind 17. For some reason, the Delaware coach attempted like a 55-yard field goal up 17 when, I'm sorry, but make ULL go the length of the field. They didn't. That gave them their first field goal, and then they got momentum. And they got a touchdown, got it back, and the tight end's got the ball in his hands. But Lunch, he got no timeouts. You're hurt. You can't run and give up 2 downs. He gave away 2 downs. You got 4 shots to the end zone, and on 1st down, he gets tackled inbounds. They got to spike the ball with 4 seconds, so you lose 2 downs.
Cost them a play.
Cost them 2 plays.
Yeah, right.
They were getting 4 shots. That close to the goal, it wouldn't have been that long.
I got to see Sheldon Sampson last
night. Yes, he talked about his injury. He did get loose downfield once, but I mean that's a weapon, man, for that league.
I'm always fascinated by the difference in competition. Sampson came here as a 5-star receiver and literally could not get on the field.
I think
goes there and is the leading receiver.
I think his dad was such a great running back at Redemption with Sid Edwards and them, and he's got different. He's longer than his dad. He's faster than his dad, but he doesn't have the shake that his dad had, and I think that's what he's missing, Charlie. His measurables, his size, excellent. His speed, excellent. Okay, but how many routes do you see him run? Even at Catholic, it was a go right or a slant or a go route. How many times did Beal just hit him on that go route? Over and over and over. And so I don't know what kind of hips he has to kind of create separation with an extensive route tree. Looks a little stiff.
Yeah, you just never know what the difference is going to be sometimes when you move from school to school. Sometimes guys move up, sometimes guys move down, sometimes it's a
They couldn't evaluate that with him?
Everybody wanted him coming out of high school.
Size, speed, production, I get it, but he's so a guy like Josh Reed, he's way bigger, he's way faster, but he cannot separate like Josh Reed.
Right.
Put that foot in the ground, and man, you get that big old separation.
And Reed was a running back before he was a receiver.
Yeah, I know.
Here, so maybe some of those instincts carried over. Walker Howard and Shelton Sampson were 2 of the highest recruits in the class when they came out.
One thing about Walker, he doesn't have the. He was a really good player. His pedigree, he could throw. Notre Dame was dying to get him. Okay, everybody, like you said, both of them, but he's not a big guy.
No,
he's not a big guy.
The arm strength was fine.
The arm strength, no, he comes. But he throws a nice ball. No,
he was not a bigger kid, and it was 2 different places. You come to LSU, so he's behind, much better pass. Okay, fine. Went to Ole Miss, and it didn't work out there either. When he got to Lafayette, he was going to be the starting quarterback and was hurt was it the first game or the second game? I think
first
it was
game.
The first game, yeah.
First game.
And immediately gets his season wrecked. It seems like it's been some bad luck and some bad circumstances for him. throughout the
Yes,
course.
and he's not. His measurables are not. His size and athletic. He's so many mobile athletic quarterback, and he, at the high school level he was fine, but he doesn't look. He looks a little fragile. I'm sorry. He just doesn't look real big out there.
He's not. When we watched him and Nussmeier stand side by side, they were backing up Jaden Daniels at the time. It's like, okay, they both throw, a fantastic ball, but Nussmeier's 3 inches taller than him.
Yeah. I mean, you see him side by side. And, okay, if small, can you play? Well, he's not a – like, Trinidad Chambliss can return punts for just about every team in the country. I mean, he's so quick with his feet. I mean, he's like an all-purpose back. Well, he doesn't have that. I mean, that's it. That helps him so much. So, but Chambliss was able to play, and then this year, had Walker been able to play, maybe he could have developed. And it's just hurting him, man.
Yeah.
It's just bad luck, and so.
Vandy. Last night,
I was underwhelmed, man.
The college basketball thing. I haven't seen them
They're
yet.
undefeated. They've got the
metrics
highest,
love 'em.
the metrics, the NET, I think they're the highest seeded team in bracketology. The Ken Palm, they love them, and I was just underwhelmed. I'm watching the body language of Penny Hardaway, Coach Memphis, and I'm like, he's just not into it. His energy level is. It's concerning. I could tell you that. I just don't know if his heart and his energy is into it like it once was, and him and Will Wade were going toe-to-toe with some big-time recruits and things like that. I just don't have them as one of the – certainly not the top team in the SEC. And the SEC, I don't know. Right now, I don't think there's a Final Four candidate in there, even a candidate. And where last year you had, half the field and the highest conference RPI in the history of the sport. But to me, the top 3 teams is Florida. Do not be turned off by their win-loss record. Okay, they have played a brutal schedule and they've lost some brutally tough games at Duke. By 1 point. When Duke hits a 3-pointer to win by 1, they're up 2 with less than 10 seconds to go. Tennessee. They're off to a slow start. They got right against Louisville. I think they're going to be fine. Their biggest thing was they're giving up way too many points. Well, Barnes has a dedication, to defense. Well, they hold Louisville to 30 points below their average for the season, their lowest point total for the season. So maybe they're getting – because they do have some firepower, and some of Barnes' teams did not. And the team, Charlie, that I'm going to put in there, it's not Vandy. Alabama, it's not them. They're not as good as they were last year. Auburn is a big step down. Ole Miss not even projecting a tournament. Kentucky's off to a terrible start. Georgia, it's kind of schedule-related. Oklahoma is good, but it's Arkansas.
You're leaving Arkansas. Yeah, that's
Arkansas.
I know that's where you were going.
They hit. That was a high-level game on Saturday. Neutral court. Texas Tech's got 49 at half.
Yeah.
I mean, they're hitting everything. And Arkansas's got size. They've got shooters. They got a chance. So that's my 3 top teams right now in the SEC.
I've seen Arkansas play a couple of times. At halftime of that game you're talking about, they were shooting over 50% from the floor, over 40% from three-point range, and they ended up shooting, I want to say it was 16. They made 16 more free throws than Texas Tech shot because Texas Tech was shooting the ball unbelievably, and so was Arkansas. And Arkansas had only turned the ball over twice. That was it. From the floor, from the three-point line, from the free throw line, no turnovers, and still losing the game. But I saw Arkansas ended up coming back and winning the game. They beat Louisville. Now that was a home game. They lost the game to Duke in the United Center. Okay, Duke's really, really good. They beat Michigan State at the Breslin Center. In East Lansing, so I'm sorry, they lost that game on the last possession. So that's another really solid outing. They play Houston Saturday.
That's awesome. That is a great game.
Yeah, and
where?
It's in Newark.
Okay.
It's one of those
neutral site.
Classic
is it
games,
doubleheader or it's by itself?
I'm not sure if somebody else is playing. They play at 5:30 our time, which is going to be right in the middle of our football watching.
The Never Forget Tribute Classic.
Yeah.
Okay.
that's going to be right in the middle of all of our football playoff stuff. But I want to at least watch some of that because I think that's one of the real litmus tests.
They're good.
We're running out of pre-conference games to judge these guys.
That was sometimes college basketball can be a little ugly with the things, and also Calipari's teams usually take time to get going. That was a high level game, man. I think he's got it, and they were kind of barely getting into the tournament. Man, they went to Sweet 16 and knocked off St. John's, who was really good last year.
Also on Saturday in the SEC, St. John's against Kentucky in Atlanta, and then
St. John's is a disappointment to this point. Kentucky for sure.
Auburn and Purdue in Indianapolis.
Yeah, this Auburn team is not what they've had. I mean, they're a tournament team, but it's a drop off. They did retain the guard though. The kid that got in the portal and came back. Their only player that they retained from last year was a freshman last year. He can really go, but no, they I think Florida has the best roster. They played some brutally tough schedule. It'd be interesting to see. The kid from the Ivy League is not. I don't think he's going to amount to be what they thought he was going to be. Some kind of volume 3-point shooter. He's having some troubles adjusting a level of play.
7'9" kid got a bucket last night.
He did.
7'9" kid?
He's a 7'9" kid for Florida.
Olivier Roux.
He's Australian, right?
I'm a little surprised at Oklahoma.
French?
I think he was Australian. He's the tallest teenager in history.
Lenardi,
or maybe living.
Max
Canadian.
Lenardi doesn't have Oklahoma
Canadian.
in. They went to Wake Forest and beat them much at their place, where Wake Forest gave Texas Tech all they could handle, lost by 1 there. Went to the number 1 team in Michigan and lost in double overtime there. They killed them, and then they gave Oklahoma State their first loss of the season, a neutral site in Oklahoma City on Saturday. Moser, I don't know. I think they're pretty good. I'm surprised he doesn't have them in, and I don't know what's going on with Ole Miss, who should have been in the Elite Eight last year. Their roster's supposed to be better this year. They got their guy back. The transfer from where is from like Murray State. Murray State's big their big rival back in that league. But anyway, Adu or whatever his name is, I'm surprised they're having the troubles that they are.
And our good friend Will Wade last night.
He went crazy.
He was.
He went.
He was almost kind of funny. It was almost.
What's he doing? What's he doing though? What's he doing?
He's lighting a fire.
He's talking to his team
because you're too nice. Is basically what he said.
They do not now. Not so much his teams at LSU. They were a little bit more finesse. You did have some killers like Emmett Williams. They're like. He's a man down there on the glass.
Yeah.
And his teams at McNeese State the last 2 years, there was nobody going to – they were tough. They were going to beat you up. They weren't the prettiest team. This team has some firepower but doesn't have as much grit and toughness, and he's trying to get it out of him. He kind of – the guys on SportsCenter played the whole thing.
He was so nice about it. He said – this is the quote. He says, we have a 3.0 GPA. That's wonderful if we're running a daycare. We run a competitive basketball program, and we've got a lot. This is the nicest insult I think I've ever heard. He goes, we've got a lot of casual personalities on our team. They've
lost some really tough, close games, and it's created a bubble situation for them entering the conference play. The game on Saturday they put I think it was CBS Sports Channel their halftime show, their studio show, ranked it as the second best game they've had this year. They talk about Duke and Florida, that one where Florida takes the lead and then Duke hits a 3, down 2 with less than 10 seconds to go. But that was such a tough loss at home, and Kansas' best player, the freshman Peterson, he played in that game. And so they're close. They're close, but, they lack a little bit of that toughness that some of his teams at McNeese State had.
We're brought to you by the Thibodeau Store and the Pierre Part Store, now in LaRose and Lockport. Gifts for the season. Look, we're getting close, just a week away from Christmas. So some of these items are available for delivery, but same-day pickup on pretty much everything on the website. Deals on Milwaukee tools, also on the Channel Lock tools. Those are all 45% off right now. Tool storage, outdoor cooking, outdoor power equipment, patio furniture, maybe some of those summertime things that you're not thinking about right now at some pretty significant discounts right now. TheThibodeauStore.com will get you to all 4 of the properties. Solar outdoor security on special right now. Security cameras available at the website. We talked about this yesterday. The auto assist with the jumper cables and the air compressor on a nice little kit. Give it to a student if you're sending them off. It's a nice little thing to have in your vehicle. You can get it all at thethibodeaustore.com if you're going to make the trip down 900 St. Patrick Highway in Thibodaux, Highway 70 in Pierre Part. Live at lunch, live from the original Walk-Ons, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny from the original Walk-Ons on Burbank on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
And we're also brought to you by Louisiana Health and Injury Centers, helping you deal with pain. Dr. Michael Goff and his staff. Man, you talk about a godsend at times for our family. Back pain, neck pain, things that are keeping you from getting around as well as you'd like or preventing you from getting a good night's sleep. Let them help you out by targeting your problem areas and giving you some relief, whether it be an exercise and stretching program, an adjustment, or dry needling, electric nerve stimulation, cryo, ultrasound therapy, or any of the other techniques that they use. Let them help you out. Airline Highway, Plank Road, Jefferson Highway near Drusilla, Dr. Michael Goff, Louisiana Health and Injury Centers. It's going to be a weird day Saturday from a broadcast standpoint. Texas A&M, and this was pointed out by our friend Ross Dellinger, who did a piece on the broadcasting end of this. Is this the biggest game in Texas A&M history? Certainly modern history? Have they played a bigger game than this? I mean, there's a legitimate chance to advance towards a national championship. I know they played some big games. Texas was big games.
Texas games
you know, they had some big games when R.C. Slocum had them moving in the 90s. But if it's not the biggest game, it's certainly one of the biggest games. It's on at 11 o'clock on Saturday. The other two games, if they were being played in September, Jimmy, we watched Ole Miss and Tulane because, you know, we're us, and we got to watch. We feel like we got to watch everything. But was that
horrible
a marquee?
game?
It ended up being a horrible game.
Horrible game, and 45-10, it was worse than the score.
Yeah.
Retzlaff didn't have a yard passing at half. He finished with 54. They scored with like 3 minutes to go with against the backups. I mean, Kiffin took his foot off the gas. It was worse than a score.
And would you have watched? I'm asking the wrong person. Oregon and James Madison in Eugene. If that game's in September, you watching?
Well, how much did you watch Indiana and James Madison? I didn't see a play.
I didn't either.
Okay, I'm watching as much as I can.
Yeah,
I didn't see a play. We didn't know James Madison was going to be that good. We know they've got a good program, though. I mean, this is done. You are not having two group of five teams anymore.
We got a chance to fix all of this this year.
They kicked the can right when it because this is no good. Because if Notre Dame's in ahead of James Madison, because James Madison is the lower ranked team, although on a neutral site, James Madison would be a 4.5-point favorite or so over Tulane.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe a little bit more.
How would you feel if Duke was in this thing because they won a power conference?
But Notre Dame, okay. Notre Dame in there and playing as the last team in and playing Oregon. Well, Notre Dame and Oregon might be a stronger draw than Alabama, Oklahoma. It's close. That's a tough one.
That's very close.
That's a tough one.
Very close.
So, say you put Notre Dame. You can't put Oregon. If I'm the programmer, I can't put Oregon on at 11 a.m. Okay, I don't want to compete with the NFL games,
especially if it's in Oregon. The games that
right. So you're going to play that one Friday night and play Oklahoma, Alabama on at 11 a.m. And then Miami, Texas A&M would go at 4 o'clock against Washington and Philadelphia. The way things have gone this year. Last year, Chicago, Green Bay, this Saturday, they ain't drawing anything. Nothing. Okay, this year, there's so much excitement to ride up with Chicago, number 3 media market. No, it's going to outdraw the Oregon James Madison game significantly. I think the 4 o'clock game with Ole Miss and Tulane has a chance to be competitive with Philadelphia. But this happened last year when they put Houston and Kansas City up against Penn State and SMU.
I will say just last year, if you look at the CFP first round ratings, the Friday night game was the second best draw of all those games. Notre Dame, Indiana got just slightly worse ratings than Ohio State, Tennessee did.
Ohio State at
Saturday.
prime time.
Correct.
They
so
the
primetime
NFL
games-
didn't have a game at night. They had it in the afternoon, right?
They
Kansas
definitely
City
had
and Houston, right?
Yeah, they definitely had an afternoon. I don't know if they had an even one. So that's I'll look that up. But it just goes to show you if you want to hide the Oregon game Friday night, the Friday night game did very well.
What was the date
last
of the
year.
Ohio State Tennessee game?
That was December 21st, 2024.
I mean, this is they were normal placement during the course of the season. All the networks are putting their best game minus Fox on prime time. Because it's a better slot.
To go out of their way to avoid heads up with the NFL if they possibly can. This is why ESPN opted out of this. They essentially farmed this out to TNT. Okay, last year, the top 100 broadcasts in the country, okay, of anything, 71 of them were NFL games. Now, a lot of those were playoff games, but a lot of those were regular season games. There were 23 things that outdrew the Alabama-Michigan Rose Bowl. Okay, that was Saban's. Ended up being Saban's. No, I'm sorry, that wasn't even Saban's last game. That was
last year. Ohio State Oregon was a blowout early.
It was okay.
But that didn't help the ratings.
And when you're talking about this stuff up against the NFL, with rare exceptions, drums them. Pretty much any college football game. Even the national championship will be outdrawn by a number of NFL. I'm not talking about the Super Bowl. I'm talking about 2 years ago, Washington and Michigan got outdrawn by regular season NFL games.
See, the NFL's adding a game this year. It was Houston. No, I'm
they
sorry.
had 12.
No, they had
3:30.
two. They had two.
They were
games last
12
year.
and 3:30 though. They weren't in the evening.
Right,
that was the difference.
So that was the one time they stayed away from prime time. This year they're going prime time.
So let's give our wish list. We want a 16-team playoff, yes?
Sure.
Okay. I want the 4 power conference champions, 1 group of 5. Whoever the best one is, they get in. Everybody else, no chance. And 11 at-larges. And I'd like to steer them away. No special treatment for Notre Dame.
If a group of 5, good luck with that.
No special treatment for Notre Dame.
Is that possible?
Yes, it is. Because if they go to 16 teams, they're starting from scratch.
Just give me the
They have
top
an
16.
MOU on 14 teams. They don't have it on
12 teams, you mean?
No, on 14 teams, too. If they go to 14 teams.
12 or 14.
12 or 14, but not 16. So if they go to 16 teams, you get the format you want, you get Notre Dame's special provisions out of it, and find me a broadcast schedule that steers away from the NFL.
The AD, because the AD, half these ADs didn't even know their arrangement moving forward.
Yeah, they know
that
now.
if the rules, if this was next year, they're in.
Yeah,
they're in. There was some damage done. There was some wait, why they? No, there was some damage done.
Oh, Bavak did not do any good for his school.
It woke up. It alerted.
It woke up a lot of
some ADs along the way.
That's right.
But no, they stayed out of prime time last year. That's why Ohio State, because that was a blowout too. Yeah. But there was no other. You couldn't turn the channel.
The Commanders are not any good this year.
No,
Jaden
Philly's strong. Philly's going to pull. That's a big market, and it's an NFL game.
That game's going to outdraw the college game.
Ole Miss and Tulane, you should.
Yeah. So the 2 games that went up against the NFL last year, the afternoon games on Saturday, both did at least 4 million worse than even the Friday night game did. So there's a drop-off when you go up against the NFL significantly.
Sure. Yeah, no kidding. Yes, for sure. But, I mean, I would maneuver around. I would be interested in maybe, if they're going to continue to put 2 games on, I would be interested in a primetime. I would explore that 3:30 Friday slot. They're going head up against them. Don't forget our friends at United Community Bank, the local way to bank big with locations from Baton Rouge to Golden Meadow, including their newest branch at Burbank and Bluebonnet. Not too far down Burbank from where we are today at the original walk-ons. Our great team of bankers at United Community Bank, Heath Meir, Nicole Glover, Hunter Creed, David Campbell, David Henry, and Prentice Wilkes. Stop on by and see how we can help your business today. United Community Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Live at the original walk-ons, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Scott and Hanny from the original Walk-Ons on Burbank on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
Shout out to Las Vegas. Talked to Matt Humans from VEASAN. Matt, we're going to be at Christmas and New Year's the next 2 Thursdays, so, man, we are not going to be able to talk to you for a while. So give me as much as your bowl card that you can possibly share with us today.
Okay, don't have a lot on the bowl card, but a week from today, I'm going to be at the Hawaii Bowl. So
okay,
I do have a couple of plays on that game. I'll give you what I got here real quickly before you guys pack up the station wagon and head down to New Orleans tonight for the Rockets Pelicans game, right?
I'm out of that game, baby. The last 3 games I went to as we're eating dinner before. These stars aren't playing. I'm done with that.
Station wagon's broken anyway.
No, I'll go to the NBA Cup games where they know they're gonna play. So yeah,
out of the playoffs.
Yeah, the NBA it's a tough watch, and I've heard Charles Barkley come out and say the NBA Cup's an embarrassment. Penny Hardaway recently said the NBA, the way they play now is tough to watch, and I find it tougher and tougher to watch and bet on. I don't know if you guys bet on it much, but there's it's a slow night in college hoops in terms of attractive games to bet on. You look, NBA's got a huge card, but I don't bet the NBA much anymore on a daily basis. Do you guys play it?
Not in the regular season.
No. I'll bet 3 Cup games. And look, I'm not putting the money up. It's a sad statement, but the games are better. I mean, there is more intensity. They're not just pulling up and settling for threes left and right. It's a better brand of basketball in the NBA Cup. It's a shame. That's what you have to do to increase the quality of it. But they're better games. I'm not paying for it, so I'll bet 3 or 4 of those games and then put it on the shelf till we get to playoffs.
Right. Yeah, I know. I do like to bet the playoffs, but I mean, we're talking about a 5+ month regular season that really has become irrelevant to a lot of people and a lot of bettors, which is strange. Anyway, the bowl season to me, and I hate to say this, but I've loved the bowl season forever, and it's becoming somewhat of a joke, and it's unfortunate. But the playoffs are going to have to expand a little bit more next year. We get some more meaningful games in the college football playoffs. I did play Alabama Friday night. I like this play. I don't love it. It feels like a bit of a coin flip in terms of the result. But I do like to bet the team that lost the first game as a home favorite in the rematch. And that's obviously the situation here with the Crimson Tide, even though they have not played that well since the middle of the season when they beat Georgia, Vanderbilt, Missouri, Tennessee during that 4-week stretch. Jam Miller should be back. They should be a little bit more effective running the ball. And then you go back to that first meeting when Ty Simpson passed for 326 yards. Tide outgained the Sooners 406-212. I don't think it's going to be that skewed this time in terms of yards, but I do expect Alabama to look a lot better than they did in the SEC title game. I'm not sure what you guys bet in that game. I know we talked about the week before. I really like Georgia over Bama in the SEC title game. And the night before the game in Vegas and some other spots, there was a lot of sharp money coming in on Alabama. And Tim Murray, actually my co-host of VEASAN Primetime, called me and said, what do you think about all this sharp money coming in on Bama? I said, I couldn't care less. I think Georgia is definitely the right side, and I'm going to stick with it. Georgia kicked their ass. Were you guys on Georgia in that game?
Yeah.
Yes.
1-7. Kirby's. 1-7. Kirby. I mean, they had a little extra in the tank on this one, and Bama had been so public. They started out public. Most public play against Florida State. Their most public play against Auburn, which they were more than fortunate to push that game at the closing line. So no, we took Georgia second time. I mean, they've beaten them twice. The last 2 years. So those players and Kirby had a little extra in the tank for them, and they're improving. They are improving. So
yeah, Georgia defense has definitely improved. I don't think there's any question about it. I've got Oregon at 8-1 to win the college football playoff. I bet that at Red Rock Sportsbook here last week, and to me, Oregon feels a lot like Ohio State a year ago when the Buckeyes did not play in the Big Ten championship game. And then made a 4-game march through the playoffs, winning all 4 by double digits. And I really like the Oregon coaching staff. Dan Lanning and his two coordinators who just got head coaching jobs, one at Kentucky, one at Cal. But they're sticking together through the playoffs, obviously. And Dante Moore, I got a couple questions about Dante Moore. He did not play well in the game against Indiana early this season. He was held below 200 yards passing, picked off twice, sacked 6 times. Other than that, in the Wisconsin game, he's played pretty well. And I think he's good enough to lead the Tech's team through this playoffs night. Second-round game against Texas Tech would be tough. I've toyed with the idea of playing the 20.5 that's out there in a couple spots against James Madison. I have not done that. I'm starting to lean towards Miami getting 3.5 against Texas A&M. But I need to be pushed a little bit more to that side. Do you guys have an opinion on Miami A&M?
Miami's had a real, Marcel Reed's legs are so much what he does now. He has massively improved as a passer. He understands touch and accuracy a lot more this year, especially on his deep ball. But man, they have no problem containing a mobile quarterback. Miami. I mean, they have basically shut down all the mobile quarterbacks that they've played. I like them being the last team to get in. I think they have going to play for it. Scares me on the bench. A&M's got an advantage there, but Miami's more than capable. And, man, they beat down a decent Pitt team in some weather conditions that are not favorable to them. And I like it being played at 11 o'clock Central Time instead of at night because they want to avoid putting a better matchup, the second-best matchup against Packers and the Bears. So
right.
I'm on Miami. Charlie, you?
I am too. The one thing that scares me a little bit is Carson Beck, but because you can't throw in the clunker. But in the big games, he had a good game against Notre Dame. Okay, when they played Florida State still thought they were good. He had a big game there. A couple of flubs against SMU, but I didn't think he played terrible in that game, and then he played really well against Pitt. So he's been better in the big games, which is what I was concerned with him coming in there. He's still got the possibility of throwing a clunker, but this year I think he's been better.
Matt, on the Oregon game, I don't do this, but maybe a handful of times the entire season, but because Oregon started so badly, 35-0, I mean, they're like, wow. I just expect them to be so alert, so focused, and so ready to play from jump. I'm laying the first half line instead, and don't want to be susceptible to a late backdoor cover. So, I mean, that's been eating at them for the entire offseason. The staff and the players that were on the team last year. So I'm looking for them to I'm not worried about a typical, maybe not, are you going to be really that excited to play, a group of 5 team? I think because how badly they got beat early in the Ohio State game, the Rose Bowl, I'm looking for them to come out quickly at the start.
That's actually a good thought, too. I might split it up and bet some of the first half and some of the game, or a little bit more first half, and I think you guys did push me a little bit more towards Miami. I've not been sold out on Texas A&M. I did play Texas against the Aggies in that last game, and I don't think that Texas team is anything special, and they handled A&M and shut down that Aggies offense pretty easily. And, again, the schedule, say what you will about it, but didn't A&M, I think, avoided Georgia, Alabama, and Ole Miss in SEC play, right?
12-43. 12-43 is the record of the teams, the conference record of their conference wins. 12-43.
And let's not forget that in the last 3 weeks of the season, they lost to Texas and barely avoided that would have been embarrassing loss against South Carolina, where they needed the miracle comeback and stick a rental win in between those
Give
games.
them credit for going to beat Notre Dame, although I thought they caught Notre Dame at a good time. And, hey, if they call a holding on that fourth and 10 touchdown, might have been a different outcome. Of course, a missed extra point, but they won the game.
You still think if the kickoff return would have counted that Notre Dame would have gone back down
Nobody
the
was
field.
stopping anybody in that game. If the kickoff return, A&M loses if the kickoff return for a touchdown is upheld. So, no other bowl games that you've looked at, Matt?
Well, I did bet the Hawaii Bowl, and one of the first bets I made was Hawaii +3. And I don't love the Hawaii +3. One of their top receiver opted out, and the situation is less than ideal as far as that goes. But right now, that game is either Cal -1, 1.5, or Pick'em at Circa. I like the total better. I played this over 54, and I think this is the best bet on Christmas Eve in Honolulu. You got 2 coaches here, and by the way, I think this is one of the best non-playoff bowls, Cal and Hawaii on Christmas Eve. You got 2 coaches Nick Rolovich, Timmy Chang. These guys were prolific passers in the run-and-shoot offense. And is there any reason for them not to open up the playbook here and let their quarterbacks put on a show in a bowl game like this? Plus, they got a couple of quarterbacks who are Hawaiians who want to put on a show. Jaron Yahweh Sagapatelli of Hawaii and Micah Alejado. Sagapatelli passed for 330 yards and 4 touchdowns in that Golden Bears win over SMU in the regular season finale. That was 38-35. Hawaii went 6-1 at home this season, scored an average of 30.5 points in those games. This is always the Hawaii Bowl is actually a huge game for Hawaii. And I know a lot of people think, well, those players might not want to stay home for a bowl game, might want to go somewhere else. No, they want to play in this game. They love this game, and I think the home underdog, or at least they started as home underdogs, is going to be hungry here. But I like over 54 is a little bit better bet. I mean, when you guys look at a game like that, when you look at those two coaches and the offenses and the quarterbacks, why would that be a low-scoring game? You know, unless we see high winds blow in on the day of the game, and that impacts the passing offenses, I don't see how this game is going to be low-scoring. You got two coaches who want to put on an offensive show. They're not going to be conservative whatsoever in their play calling.
Now, listen, TSA restricts you when you come back for with all that money, okay? I mean, when you go back from Hawaii. The Stanford game, and, I mean, your pockets, TSA is going to shake you down now at the airport. I mean,
tell me how many people have been in this situation before with the Hawaii Bowl where
you can't bet sports in Hawaii. That's one of the, I think, that's one of the 10 states in the U.S. that has not approved sports betting. So you got to bet here and then fly to the game and collect your money when you get back, Jimmy.
Yeah, I know, but your cell phone was a little heavier after the San Diego State game and in the Stanford game. So you talk about a rocking chair. My man sat in the rain all game in San Diego State. I mean, you know.
Tell me you hadn't been in this situation on Christmas Eve if you're out there. The party's done, the family gathering's done, whatever's done, the kids are – you just sit back, you pour a glass of something. What's on? The Hawaii Bowl's on. Yeah. I'll watch the Hawaii Bowl. I mean, tell me how many parents aren't out there like in that situation on Christmas Eve. I don't care what it is. It's on. It's a football game. Pour me a glass of that, and let's watch the game.
Yes, indeed.
All right, Matt. That's why it's always been one of my favorite bowls, right? You get a break from the family, and you can go watch football. Hey, quickly, I don't have much else, and this is a weeknight in college hoops, so I don't have a play for you on that, but I want to hear quickly what else you guys like in the bowl season before we break here.
All right. While we're digging that up, give me your top 2 NFL plays this week.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Bears against the Packers on Saturday night. The first meeting between these teams, Bears had a 7-minute time of possession edge. They ran for 138 yards. And the Bears have the number 2 rushing offense in the NFL right now, 152 yards per game. Packers got a bunch of injuries. Micah Parsons is the obvious one, but they got 4 or 5 starters out. Packers off playing now 3 road games in 4 weeks. This is back-to-back road games. Just played an elevation at Denver, and teams that played Denver and are on the road the next week are 0-5 ATS. I just think the Bears are a team we talked about being lucky for most of the season. Now they believe that they're really good, and they're on a roll. And some of the air was let out of the Packers' balloon last week with that loss to the Broncos and the Micah Parsons injury. I'm also playing the Patriots +3 on Sunday night, and I think they will bounce back from blowing that big lead against the Bills. What a debacle that was when they had a chance to clinch the division. But that's a well-coached Mike Vrabel team, and I still don't think the Ravens have shown all that much. You shut out the Bengals, the big deal. Bengals right now are a dead team. Lamar Jackson has not been the same. Jackson was 8 for 12 for 150 yards with a pick, and he took 4 sacks last week. I'm not seeing it with the Ravens. I think the betting market's showing them too much respect here, making this number a full 3. So I'll take the Patriots.
All right, tomorrow's game early. I like the under in Kennesaw State, Western Michigan. I know P.J. Fleck is undefeated in bowl games, but New Mexico's such a big game for them. I like New Mexico in that spot. Dabo keeps his team playing hard against, when it's a lot of it. They finish strong again. Clemson minus the points. I like Illinois. All those guys came back for their senior year. Disappointing season, but they're going to have a strong participation in the bowl game there. And then I want that little guy that said F off all the voters. I think Iowa wants a piece of Diego's ass in that ball game. So we're going to go after. We're going to take Iowa in that offensive line. Charlie?
Give me Army against UConn. UConn changing coaches, and Army we're always going to get the service academies giving their best effort. And I like Ole Miss. Laying the big number, square play maybe, but they were much the better the first time. Tulane's minus one of their better receivers in Bryce Bohannon, so that kind of adds to the degree of difficulty. Ole Miss, hey, we lent them back the rest of the coaching staff minus Kiffin, so they should be fine. I like the Rebs minus 17.5.
Maui, Matt, enjoy it, man, on Christmas Eve with the Hawaii Bowl against Cal, and we'll see you in a few weeks, man. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas to you, brother.
Yeah, best of luck in the Bowls. Nelly Kaliki Maka to you guys.
There you go, just like Charlie says it.
Javen, Kiawe, Sangapula, Telly.
All right. We'll come back and wrap it up for the original Walk-Ons, live at lunch, live from Walk-Ons at 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny from the original Walk-Ons on Burbank on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Good ball game on tonight. Seahawks and the Rams. The rain's supposed to clear out by kickoff time. The wind, which may be a little bit of a problem at kickoff, it's also scheduled to die down as the game goes on. 51 degrees at kickoff. So we'll see the number one seed place the number one seed in the NFC on the line tonight. Thanks to our friends here at Walk-Ons. If you're coming by, congratulations to all the graduates who came by today and our holiday schedule, Jimmy, here at Walk-Ons.
Yeah, so we are open for Christmas Eve only for lunch. Lunch only on Christmas Eve and then all day on Christmas Day. So Christmas Eve for lunch. And then you're looking for a place to watch the games, man, the NFL Sunday ticket over here at Walk-On. So you got people coming in from out of town. And, listen, you got somebody in the college, lives in college towns or is a college student. Walk-On's gift cards are redeemable at all of the locations across the country, from Lubbock to Clemson to Tuscaloosa to Baton Rouge, New Orleans. They're good everywhere.
Thanks to our friends here at Walk-Ons for being our host today. Tomorrow, we are at Rufino's, as always, on a Friday. We'll be taking a long, hard look with all of our guest experts at the college football playoffs and, of course, the weekend in the NFL. That's tomorrow morning at Rufino's. For Max Gotro, Jordan Kitch is back in the studio for Jimmy. I'm Charles Hanniger saying thank you and good afternoon. Stay tuned for Hunt Palmer on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.